News Radio 710 KEEL, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, and a moment or two with the legendary Tim Fletcher is here. Okay, Erin
just makes him sound old. Don't say that.
Oh, thank you there, Robert. I appreciate that.
The done before his time, Tim Fletcher.
Hey, that's more like it.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm glad I could be here. Erin is sort of freaking out about the hire of Matt Canada. I first thought when she read it, it's Matt Canada, OC at LSU. I saw, you mean Matt Cavanaugh, who was the old Pitt quarterback. No, it's
There's
a guy
a Pitt connection, but yeah.
Matt Canada, who was the offensive coordinator at Pittsburgh.
Right.
Tell us about him and the style of offense you see coming to Baton Rouge.
Well, I can tell that Erin's scared because it's turned her hair white.
Yeah, it did.
Obviously, she was very frightened by this hire of Matt Canada. Didn't know she was taking it so hard.
It's interesting. Don't turn around, but she leaves no image. No, there's no reflection in the window either.
I'll sing if you'd like.
No, we'd rather listen to Tim.
Here's the deal. This guy is football insiders, those that are in the game, coaching it, those that cover it from the inner workings of it, believe this is a home run hire. And what we found out the other day when they introduced Matt Canada as the new offensive coordinator, Ed Orgeron said he only interviewed one guy. We were all under the assumption that Lane Kiffin was the guy. They were going after Lane Kiffin. If it wasn't Kiffin, they were going after Mark Helfrich of Oregon, or there was some other big name out there they were going to bring in. Well, this was the guy that they obviously had targeted from the jump, if you can believe what Coach O said. And this is a guy that was coveted. Bruce Feldman, well, here's the deal. Bruce Feldman of Fox Sports, national guy, pretty good reputation, said that Matt Canada turned down 3 offensive coordinator positions among Power 5 conferences. We don't know who it is yet. Ole Miss is looking for an offensive coordinator. Notre Dame, Texas was, Alabama is now. Mm-hmm. We don't know who he turned down to come to LSU, but he did. And some pretty good jobs. And so there were other people that wanted this guy to be their offensive coordinator. Now, what he does, Robert, as far as his offense, it's kind of like what, as they say, Dave Aranda does defensively for LSU. You don't know what to expect. He likes utilizing what talent is on hand. LSU's got a very good running back core, Darius Geis. Mm-hmm. So you can expect a heavy dose of running next year. We don't know who the quarterback's going to be, if it's Brandon, if it's Etling, or maybe somebody different. We don't know if those two guys are even going to be on campus next year. He utilizes the talent on hand and matches up an offensive scheme to go with those kids.
In his last job at Pitt, what did they do? What kind of quarterback did he have?
He had a very productive quarterback, a guy I think they ended up being number 9 in quarterback efficiency. They scored a school record 508 points this year. Pitt beat Clemson, who is one of the Final Four teams. They put 43 points against the Clemson defense that was led by Coach Venables, who was given the Frank Broyles Award for the top assistant coach in college football.
And is he the kind of OC that has so much juice with the head coach that they'll get for him the players he wants on the offensive side?
Ed Orgeron has learned from his Ole Miss days that he can't tinker with everything. Ed Orgeron's a defensive guy. He's a defensive lineman guy. But at Ole Miss, his first time around as an SEC coach, he said he would stop by and work with the quarterbacks. He would tinker with the wide receivers. He'd go over to the linebackers. And he said, I have learned from that time when I was 10 and 25 at Ole Miss until now, there's a reason why these guys have risen through the ranks of the college football coaching tree.
Because they know what they're doing. $1.5 million or $2 million a year.
He's not going to let Dave Aranda, he's not going to influence what Dave Aranda's doing on defense. He may have a suggestion, and the same thing he's going to do with Matt Canada. He's going to allow Matt Canada to do what he needs to do.
Let's talk about the quarterbacks we're recruiting. The Miles Brennan, the Narcisse kid, I guess.
Lowell Narcisse. Yeah. Now, it's going to be interesting with Narcisse because he was a long-time commit like Miles Brennan. Mm-hmm. 2 different type of quarterbacks. Miles Brennan's a guy who stands back in the pocket and just flings it around. Last check, I can't remember what he did his last 2 games in Mississippi, but at one point he had thrown, I think, 48 touchdowns and 1 interception this year. He's an accurate guy. He's only about a 3-star quarterback, and I hate the little stars they attach to these guys. He is a very good high school quarterback, but he is a passer. He's a guy that can stand back there and bleed a defense to death. Lowell Narcisse is a guy who is, hey, man, you want to get him on the edge? He'll burn you running the football. He'll run it right through the middle, but he can also torch you with his arm. Now, the thing about Narcisse is I believe he committed to Auburn. Well, Auburn just received a junior college signing from Jarrett Stidham, who was the Baylor starting quarterback 2 years ago as a freshman. But when Art Briles got canned at Baylor, this kid said, I'm not playing for anybody but Art Briles. I'm going to sit out of college football for a year. Went to a JUCO that didn't even have football. He was the number one JUCO recruit. So this kid has instead, this Jarrett Stidham guy is now going to Auburn. Mm-hmm. If I'm Lowell Narcisse, I'm looking at that and going, okay, wait a minute. They've got the Franklin kid who was on Last Chance U on Netflix from East Mississippi Community College. He's a kid that's got 2 more years of eligibility. They got another kid that's got 3 more years of eligibility that are going to be ahead of me on the pecking order. Mm-hmm. I think I'll reopen my options. That's what I would do.
Do you see Canada going with a dual threat quarterback like Narcisse, or the Miles Brennan, which is we're going to pass and we're going to try to score?
And is Danny Etling, are Brandon Harris
in
and Danny Etling, are they weighing their options?
Said, whatever we have is what we're going to go with. He goes, if our strength are our tight ends, then we're going to put 3 tight ends on the field. If our strength is wide receivers, we may do 5 wide receivers. Mm-hmm. If our quarterback's our strength, we're going to put the quarterback in positions to make plays. You look at his track record at North Carolina State, they scored a lot of points there. His track record at Northern Illinois, they had quarterbacks that ran for over 1,600 yards in 1 year. Combination of quarterbacks. Other places, he had quarterbacks run for 300 yards.
But in the SEC, that's a different defense you're facing, right?
It is. It's a different defense, but remember, he put 43 points up the board against Clemson, who has one of the top defenses in the country, who is coached by the guy has the actual hardware to prove it. I'm the best assistant coach in the country, Coach Venables, Clemson, and he put 43 points
Tim Fletcher, last question. With the players that LSU had on the field last year, Darius Geis, Danny Etling, wide receivers, NFL quality. Can Matt Canada, if he had those guys, could he score 30 or 35 points a game?
Every game that Pitt played this year, they scored 28 or more points. They're the only school in the Power 5 conferences that scored at least 28 points in every game. And so you think about this. If Dave Aranda has at his disposal, the defensive coordinator for LSU, if he knows that, wait a minute, our offense is going to give us 28 points. All we got to do is keep teams to 27 or below. And you look at what LSU did this year defensively, they're going to be a lot better off.
Nick Saban took notice. When LSU hired Matt Canada, Nick Saban took notice.
He did. That's a shot fired across the bow. That's a great hire. It's a good hire. Aaron, trust me, he's a good coach. We don't know if he's going to be able to get it done in the first year. We certainly hope so for all of LSU's purposes. Everyone's kind of poo-pooing the Ed Orgeron hire. There's a lot of naysayers.
Sure.
Sports Illustrated called it a D+. Gave it a grade of D. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, hey, man, so far this is what Ed Orgeron's done as the head coach. He's kept Dave Aranda, who could have gotten a job anywhere in the country as a defensive coordinator.
Sure.
He kept him, so that's an A+. And he's hired the offensive coordinator that everybody who was looking for an offensive coordinator wanted. And so, to me, that's a sign of a good coach, knowing the right people to bring in.
Great stuff, amigo. Thank you very much, and Merry Christmas, of course.
Nice to see you, Blondie.
Yeah, thanks.
News Radio 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty, back in just a second. Hang on.